All right. Let's try this again. All right. So, can everybody hear me now? We had some audio issues, and I'm trying to test to see if everybody can hear. So, yes, sound. All right. So, yes. All right. Cool. Don't know what happened there. Technical issues when we go live, but I can tell you that I was showing that my mic was working okay on my end, but I apologize. Everybody was having sound issues. Okay. So, today, 5 vendors who can help you build business credit, how to get approved for this without a personal credit check and guarantee. Obviously, as we know, the economy is in flux right now, a lot of things changing. So I want to dive in and talk about the kind of money you can get right now for your business. Okay. Now, the SBA PPP loan, there's still about $135 billion available. So if you haven't already got in on this, it's a great thing to do. But this, you can't just rely on this. There's a lot of things where this is even changing on the fly, and a lot of people are still looking for other ways to get capital. So again, love SBA PPP. If you've already gotten in on this, then make sure, if you haven't already gotten in on this, make sure you do get in on this so you're able to get part of those funds. But a lot of people already know you can't rely on these funds to be able to fund your business moving forward. This is where I think business credit can help you. So it's first important to know that having an EIN number does not mean that you have a business credit profile and score established. If you go to a bank, just because you have a business and you try to get credit cards without using your social security number, you're probably going to get denied. Okay, not probably, you will get denied. So a lot of people, when they build business credit and they realize you can get credit without a personal guarantee and credit check, what a lot of people are trying to do is they then try to go to their bank and say, okay, I want to get a credit card without a personal guarantee and credit check. And the bank says, no way, you can't do that. Well, that's because you can't start at the end step. You know, with this, there's a process to building business credit. And if you follow the steps, you could succeed. But if you get the steps out of order, then you're not able to succeed. So if you're not wanting to use your good personal credit, if you're not wanting to use a personal guarantee, then going to your bank is not the best course of action. You have to start with a basic foundation. And this is where vendor credit really comes in. It helps you build that initial foundation. Now, I know I just fixed the audio issues, but I'm going to try to make one more change here. So real quick, I'm going to make one more change and see if this works. Can everybody still hear me? If you don't mind, go ahead and type in the comments right now and let me know if you can still hear me now, because I just changed my audio sources. I just want to make sure that everybody can actually hear me through this new audio source. So if you don't mind, go ahead and just type into Facebook, YouTube, Periscope in the comments. Just let me know if you actually can still hear me now, because I just changed my audio sources. Okay, yes, okay, perfect. So I can remove this. This is my backup audio. Okay, so lots of people fail building business credit, right? A lot of people are not succeeding because they try traditional lenders first. They try to go to their bank to start this process, which is not something you can do. Those are one of the hardest places you can get money, are the big banks: Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase. And it's frustrating, but don't give up. It's not the place that you want to start. So how do you start? How do you start building business credit the right way? Well, first, you've got to build trade lines that report on your business credit report. There's a few ways to do this, but I'm going to talk about starter vendors today. So a trade line is the reporting of accounts on your business credit reports. That's what it is. So you've got to start by getting accounts that report to your business credit reports, right? Then you'll have established a credit profile. And then based on how you pay your bills, that will give you a good credit score, especially if you pay on time. And then with these three things, trade lines that establish a credit profile, that establish a credit score, then you can move on to get retail credit and fleet credit and Visa cards and MasterCards. All of that can be done, but you have to start with these three basic things: trade lines that build a profile, the profile that gives you a score. Then with those things, you can move on to start building real business credit. Now, one of the best ways to start is through what's called starter vendors. Now, starter vendors, well, these are trade lines that are basically issued by credit issuers, and they basically are giving you initial credit when you have none. So, for example, these are companies that sell products, they sell services, but what they do is that they will sell you those products or services on terms. They will give you credit to buy their products and services. Then they take your payments on that credit and they report the credit to the actual business credit reporting agencies. So they'll sell basic supplies and things you need: shipping supplies, outdoor workwear, ink and toner. We've got vendors in our finance suite for our clients that sell SEO services, marketing services, t-shirts, phone services.
Let's be honest, it's the stuff you really need to run your business anyways, okay? But you can buy these things on terms instead of paying cash. So for example, they may give you a net 30 term instead of paying cash to actually buy those things. Now, the nice thing is that you're buying these on terms. You're easing your cash flow you're easing your cash flow restrictions because you don't have to pay cash for them. You can actually buy them on terms. But keep in mind, with these kind of vendors, you're going to have net terms, not revolving terms. So if I have a revolving credit card and I put $1,000 on that credit card in charges, well, then I can pay a minimum payment of $25 until that $1,000 is paid off. But with these accounts, if I get a net 30, I only have 30 days to pay that $1,000 back in their entirety. So way better than secure credit cards, but not up to the level yet of revolving credit cards. We're building up to that level. So to start your business credit the right way, you've got to get accounts that report to the business credit reporting agencies. Once that's done, then you can use the credit, you could pay the actual credit back, and then that credit reports to one of the reporting agencies or more, Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. This is trickier than it sounds. 97% of trade vendors don't report credit to the business credit reporting agencies. A lot of those people are the ones that become our clients. They come in, they run a $10 million business, and they're trying to get a loan or a credit line, and they're turned down because they don't have any credit established. Here they are paying all these vendors all this money. They think they're building business credit, only to find out that none of their vendors that they're paying actually even report the credit to the business credit reporting agencies. This happens all the time. One of my friends, John, huge in the business advertising area, pays massive bills to all these radio stations around the country, was surprised and shocked to figure out he can't get loan because his credit's not established because none of those vendors that he's paying those bills to actually report the credit to the business credit reporting agencies. So you've got to get credit with vendors who will give you credit even if you have none reported now, and that will report that credit to one or more of the business credit reporting agencies. Now, once those accounts you get the account, you pay the bill, it reports to the business credit reporting agency. That's what gives you that trade line. Then that's what establishes a credit profile, and how you paid the bill will determine your actual credit score. So once you use this newly established credit profile and score, you can then move up, and the more accounts you have on your business credit reports, the more types of credit become available for you. So let me give you an example. I call this the retail credit tier. That's when you can get retail credit. Amazon, Dell, HP, Sam's Club, Costco, Staples, Walmart, almost every major retailer offers retail credit without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. You can start to get that credit with about 5 trade lines reported on your business credit report. Now, maybe Staples will give you a credit card with 5 accounts. Maybe Office Depot will require 8 or 9. So the key to building business credit is the more accounts you have reporting, the more opens up for you, the more credit becomes available. Some credit issuers want you to have 10 accounts reported. Some want you to have 15. Some want you to have 5. It's just a matter of how much history they want to see on your business credit reports. So when more accounts you add to your business credit reports, the more credit becomes available. So the best people that are getting away from guarantees and credit checks, even when it gets to financing, well, these people have 20, 25, 30 different trade lines on their business credit report. If you look at a company like Walmart, they have over 400 trade lines on Experian alone, actually over 500 trade lines on Experian alone. That's over 500 accounts that report to Experian alone. So when you look at major companies like HP and like Amazon and like Dell and like Walmart, and you wonder why they're able to borrow money without their CEOs signing as guarantors, it's because when you look at their business credit reports, they have hundreds of trade lines on their credit report. So when you want to get away from guarantees, the more accounts that you add to your credit report, the more credit becomes available to you without the guarantee and without the credit check. It all comes down to adding a high volume of trade lines. The higher the volume of trade lines reported, the more account tiers that open up. Okay, and that's possible because what ultimately is happening is you're just building a credit profile for your EIN so it can stand on its own. Let's talk about this one thing for a minute. If you look at the definition of a personal guarantee is required when a business cannot stand on its own. A business can't stand on its own unless it has a credit profile established that's better than your individual credit profile. When your business has a credit profile that shows high limit credit cards paid as agreed, loans paid as agreed, credit lines paid as agreed, then it gives you the ability to get more and more financing without the guarantee. But your credit is needed. Your social is needed when you don't have that because your business can't stand on its own yet. If I go to Staples with no accounts on my business credit report and I say, I want to get a commercial credit card with you without a guarantee, they'll say, okay, they're going to pull my business credit reports. When they see zeros and nothing on there, they're going to say, I'm sorry, we can't issue you a credit card. Your business cannot stand on its own. Maybe you want to consider guaranteeing it instead. But if I go into Staples with 10 accounts on my business credit reports, then even if my revenue isn't $1 million, even if my time in business isn't 3 years, I'm still able to get approved because my business can stand on its own because it now has a history established showing that the business pays its bills as agreed. So that's our goal. Our goal is to build a credit profile where the business can prove to the credit issuers that it can stand on its own, that it manages its own bills, that it's got a lot of accounts that are paid as agreed. And once people can see that business manages its own credit, then the business can start qualifying for more credit without needing you as an actual guarantor. That's how this whole process works. And it's how we get away from personal guarantees. So do me a favor, if this makes sense, if you like this, hit the like button, hit the love button, share. Let's share this with other people because all I want to do today is walk you through these steps. And if this provides value, just do me a favor and show me by actually hitting the like, hitting the love, hitting the share button. Okay, so building business credit, what you need to know. Not all retailers will approve you just because of your credit profile and score. Some have revenue requirements. Some have time and business requirements. And the way that we can mitigate those or get away from those is by making sure our fundability is established and making sure that we get as many accounts reported to the business credit reporting agencies as we can. So for example, if we look at Home Depot, okay, well, they might need 1 to 3 year time in business to get a guarantee. They actually may want you to have a certain amount in sales. They'll even say that on their application stage or application page. But if you have your fundability in line and you have accounts reporting to the other reporting agencies, then there's a very good chance that you can get approved as a manual review and don't need those requirements because, again, your business can then stand on its own, but it's something to keep in mind. Now, you're not going to get a Visa card or MasterCard right away. You've got to build the initial credit to get that profile before you can even get there. You've got to start with starter trade lines. Then you can build up from there. But getting started is the hardest part, and here's why. You and I expect credit to report automatically. If I go get a Target card because they offered me a 20% discount upon checkout, and I'm buying a big TV and I want the 20% discount, I expect that credit card to report on my consumer credit reports. I do. If I go into Home Depot, if I go into Lowe's, if I go into Target, if I get credit from somebody that's issuing me credit, I expect that credit reports. But again, 97% of credit in the business world doesn't report. So again, this is the hardest part because most sources you'll give credit with doesn't report. You've got to find the sources who actually do. Now, a lot of benefits when you find these sources, okay? Because this is an important step to building business credit, the vendor credit tier. This is what moves you towards getting retail credit. It's what moves you towards getting fleet credit. It's what establishes the initial credit profile and score that makes it easier to get loans and credit lines. And the nice thing is this is the most proven process to work to build initial business credit. So it's something that can work for everybody. If you own a business in the United States, even if you live in the UK, you can still do this. If you own a nonprofit, you can do this. If you're in a high-risk industry, you could do this. If you have no revenue, no cash flow, and trashed personal credit, you can still do this. Anybody that owns a business can do what I'm about to show you today, okay? So let's dive in to the 5 companies. There's 5 companies that are probably 5 of my favorites, which can provide you vendor credit and report that credit to the business credit reporting agencies. Now, my second favorite is Uline. They sell shipping supplies, packaging supplies, industrial supplies. They report to Dun & Bradstreet and Experian. Now, I've taught this many times before, and let me kind of touch on it again. A payment experience is the reporting of an account to a business credit reporting agency. So if I have an account like Uline that reports to D&B and Experian, that gives me 2 payment experiences. I need 5 to move on to retail credit, Office Depot, Staples, Amazon, etc. So by getting an account with Uline, I get 2 of my 5 payment experiences with 1 account. This is how we expedite business credit building. We expedite it because we find accounts that report to multiple reporting agencies. That means 1 account gives us multiple payment experiences. And if moving between the tiers of business credit building is all based on how many payment experiences we have, then what happens is when we have an accounts that report to multiple reporting agencies, we can build business credit way faster by getting accounts with like Uline that report to multiple reporting agencies. Here, let me give you an example of why this is so important. Here's a secret look at what our clients see when they build business credit. And as you can see, one of the most important factors we show them is we show them where the accounts report to. Because this way they can build business credit faster by getting accounts with payment or with credit issuers that report to more reporting agencies, giving them more payment experiences with one account they get. So for example, if I get Sinclair Gas, I get 3 payment experiences here. But if I get a Conoco card, I only get 2 payment experiences here. Fuel cards by default report to almost all 3 of the reporting agencies in almost all cases. So the nice thing here is that by knowing which accounts report to multiple reporting agencies, you can really expedite your business credit building. So Uline reporting to 2 is a huge benefit. Now you've got to have a DUNS number with Dun & Bradstreet before you report to them. And this brings up an important point. I have not in this training discussed anything to do with your fundability. I have not even dove into that. So there's a whole step before you start getting these accounts called fundability. I'll cover that in future live streams. You can go to YouTube or facebook.com/credit suite and find video training where we talk about fundability. Very important. Can't tell you how important it is. How you set up your business address, how you set up your business phone number, how you set up your website and your email address. All of that is really, really, really important to making sure that you're going to get approved for these. I just didn't have time to cover all that stuff today. So I want you to know I'm skipping a very important step. In that step of fundability, you're getting your DUNS number with Dun & Bradstreet. It's one of the fundability requirements you need before you get into vendors, okay? So you need to have that DUNS number before Uline will approve you. And also, you're going to get approved with them for net 30 terms. Now, Ozzy says, I've completed step 1 and only have a DMB profile. Can I start applying for vendor credit without experience in Equifax? You can, but you need to keep in mind, Ozzy, that you think about this from a consumer credit perspective. If I only ever have credit with TransUnion and not Equifax and Experian, that's problematic. I can't get a home loan because a home loan pulls a tri-merge credit report and uses my middle of 3 scores. Getting a car loan is difficult because a lot of lenders only look at Equifax and or Experian. Getting credit cards is difficult because a lot of credit issuers only look at Equifax or Experian. So if you only build credit with Dun & Bradstreet, can you move to the next step? You can, but you're going to get a lot of denials because some of the credit issuers you're going to apply for are pulling Experian. They're pulling Equifax. They're not just pulling DMB. So Ozzy brings up a really good point here. You want to get credit that reports to all 3 or start making sure that you have credit on each 3 of your reporting, your credit reports. If not, you can get some credit, but you're going to get denied a lot of credit. That's the way fundability works. You can use your home address as an address for your business on your applications. You can do that. And to be honest with you, places like Staples will approve you with that. But Walmart won't approve you because you used a home address. That's the way fundability works. Some sources will approve you based on you only having a DMB profile reported, but some won't. The people that look at Experian and Equifax won't report or won't approve you. So you want to make sure you're building credit with all 3 reporting agencies to have the best chance of getting approved for loans and credit cards. Now, Corey says, thank you so much, freaking much. You are the reason why business will begin, with great business credit. I appreciate that. And G says, so DMB will not issue you a paydex score until you have 4 different vendors reporting them. DMB will not issue you a credit score until you have 3 accounts reporting to them. And let's talk about this because, again, Gene brings up a really good point. Okay, so there's Equifax, Experian, and Dun & Bradstreet Commercial. Those are the 3 major reporting agencies. Dun & Bradstreet will not issue you a credit score, a paydex score, and will not create a credit profile for you unless you meet 2 requirements. 1, you must have your DUNS number. 2, you must have 3 accounts reporting to them. Now, Experian and Equifax are very different. Experian and Equifax will actually give you a failing credit score even if you have no credit reporting to them, meaning they will actually create a credit profile and score for you even if you have no credit established. Here, I'll show you exactly what this looks like. Give me a minute here and I will pull up some real credit profiles so you can see exactly how this works. It's a great point, Gene. You kind of took me down a rabbit hole, but I think it's a good rabbit hole that we go down because I think it's important that people understand what can happen here. So I'm going to give you 2 examples. And what's very important to these examples is to see how credit reports work. So with Experian and Equifax, they're the same way. These are real commercial credit reports that we're looking at here. So with Experian and Equifax, they will, if they know your business name, as we see here, they know your business address, and they know your SIC or NAICS code or your industry code, what industry you're in. They will create what you see here, a credit profile. They create a credit profile for your business, even if you have no credit reporting. This credit profile will have failing credit scores. This is called IntelliScore. This is the main score that's used by Experian. This is a financial stability score. This score literally depicts your risk of going bankrupt. Okay, and 0 is the lowest score you can get, 100 is the highest. So we see somebody here with a 6 out of 100, really bad, really high chance of filing bankruptcy. Here's what's crazy. They have no credit on their credit report, all zeros. I'm at the bottom. I can't scroll down. There's no credit here. So Experian created a credit profile because they know the business name, address, and SIC code. They issued the business a failing credit score, telling lenders and credit issuers they have a very high risk of filing bankruptcy, and the person hasn't even done anything wrong. They don't even have any credit reporting, and they're being issued a failing credit score. Now, let me show you what I'm going to teach you today how to do. Here's the exact opposite. Here's somebody that has a 96 score out of 100, as high as you could almost get. A 55 out of 100 stability score. Not great, but not bad. We're not on the lowest tier now. Here's what's insane about this is that if you look, they only have 1 account reporting on their business credit report. And by the way, great timing, that 1 account is Uline. So they got the 1 account I've already showed you, Uline. And here's what they did. Check this out. You can see it on the actual business credit report. Their score went from failing 28, just like the report I showed you. Remember, the last report I showed you, they had a 28 score, indicating they had no credit. But then they jumped all the way up into the 90s because they added 1 account to the business credit reports. This is what I'm going to show you today. Equifax and Experian will take you from no credit or failing credit scores to really good if you have even 1 account reporting to them with a positive score. D&B will require 3 accounts reporting and a PAYDEX and a DUNS number to be able to get the PAYDEX score. So Ozzy, really a really complicated question to your a complicated answer to your question, but hopefully that helps you. Okay. So, and Ozzy says, or that was Gene that asked that. Ozzy says, I submitted my business profile to Experian, not showing up yet. And G says, how long should I wait in months where I'm applying for gas cards? We'll talk about that here in a minute, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that. Okay. So you need the following to qualify for Uline: EIN with IRS, a business address that matches everywhere, congruent online, a DUNS number, a business license, a business bank account, an entity in good standing. Let's talk about these things. If you have an older company that's set up with your Secretary of State, make sure the company is active. A lot of people's businesses are not active. 9 out of 10 business owners that I talk to have mismatched information on their Secretary of State than what they actually have on their application for credit and financing. And this is what gets them denied. The number one reason people get denied for credit and financing is that the information you're putting on the application is not congruent with the information that you're actually able to put, or that are actually obtaining on the back end. They get it from LexisNexis. They get it from Yelp. They get it from Bing. They get it from Google Business. They get Google Business, where you have your information there, your Yellow Pages. All of your information needs to be congruent online. That's what I teach you when I talk about fundability. Your information, your address has to match everywhere to get approved for Uline. You have to have the DUNS number. You have to have a bank reference, which is what they're going to ask for you to be able to get set up with Uline. Okay. And they might have you make a few orders first before they issue you a credit line. Here's what I mean by that. If you screwed up your fundability, if you ignored my advice, if you skipped that step, you're going to go to Uline and apply for credit. And they're going to say, sorry, that's not going to work. You're going to have to place some orders first. You're going to have to place an order, place another order. And then by the 3rd order, they'll approve you. But if you follow my advice and do your fundability the right way, you can skip past that and they'll give you a credit line right away. One of the reasons that fundability is absolutely so important. Now, Gene says, how long do I have to wait for this account to get actually, or how long should I wait in months when I'm applying for a gas card? Well, here's how it works. What you want to do is that, okay, let me explain it this way. We've already talked about how building business credit's about how many accounts report on your business credit reports, right? So one of the ways we help clients speed up the process, because what we do is we take people that do this 2.5 years on their own, and we take them and make them our clients, and we get them done in 6 months, right? Where they took 2.5 years on their own to get to the same place. How do we do that? Well, one of the ways that we do it is that we get them approved for credit issuers that report monthly to the business credit reporting agencies. Some sources like Quill might not report your first account for 3 months. So if you need 5 accounts reported to get to the next step and you wait 3 months for one account to report, then you could be waiting 90 days or more to be able to get to the next step. So the key is to get credit that reports quickly to the business credit reporting agency, credit that reports monthly, not quarterly. And if you want to know how to do that, well, there's 2 ways you can do it, right? Okay, first of all, if you are a client, well, we tell you that. We already teach you that. We already tell you how often each one of the sources reports. So when we go to any of our actual programs, you can actually look at every single revolving credit issuing card that exists in the corporate credit world, and we tell you if it reports quarterly versus monthly, so you know that information. Now, if you're not using our system, then do what we do. We actually call and speak to underwriters at all of these sources. Every source that's in here, we have a relationship with the underwriter. We know how often they report. We know who they report to. We know what it takes to get approved. It's why our clients are so fast through this process. If you want to find out the same thing, you have to communicate with the credit issuer. Find out how often do they report. Do they report quarterly or do they report monthly? Very important to expedite your business credit building. So hopefully that kind of helps you there. Okay. And you can visit them at uline.com. Now, Quill is my favorite vendor. They sell office packaging, cleaning supplies, over 1 million products in their stores. They also sell toner, office furniture. They report to D&B. To apply, you don't have to have a Paydex score, but they may make you place a few orders first if you don't have the Paydex score or don't have your fundability in line. You got to spend $100 with them to get the credit reported, and you'll be issued a credit on net 30 terms. Okay, so you need to be able to make sure that you have spend at least $100 with Quill in order to get the account actually reported with them. Again, another little nuance on why a lot of people take a lot of time to build business credit. They go spend $50 at Quill because that's what it used to be. They wait months for it to report. It doesn't, only to find out that they needed to spend $100 with Quill to actually be able to get it reported. Okay, so Kevin says, Wex issued my company 2 gas cards for $1,000 each, and then they terminated both accounts before I even used them. Any insight as to why? Fraud. That's probably why. What happens with fleet cards, and I preach about this all the time, is fleet cards are underwritten by a lot of cases the exact same source. So if you apply for multiple fleet cards in a very short period of time, they will see that as potential fraud and shut down the account. Is that what happened to you, Kevin? I don't know. But I can tell you that when I see this happen with fuel cards, it's because people applied for multiple fleet cards at different places in too short of a period of time, and they saw it as fraud. So that absolutely will contribute to that. Okay. And Kevin Wood says 76 and 7-Eleven. You just said what I just said, right? And so the next statement you said is, I applied for 2, 76 and 7-Eleven cards and got approved for both, and they shut them down. You applied for 2 at the same time, underwritten by the same source. That's exactly what happened in your case. Frontier says, I have an LLC and used a residential address for Uline because I work from home. You can do that. But as I mentioned, there's a lot of sources like Walmart who will never approve you for credit using a home address. That's why you should use a business address or a virtual address, because some sources like Uline may approve you. But when you get to the revolving credit you really want, a lot of sources aren't going to approve you. It's why fundability is so important and having a business address is so important. GR says, I'm looking forward to getting at least $100K of cash credit lines in less than 180 days. It can 180 days is tough, especially if you're doing it on your own. I've never seen anybody do that, building business credit on their own in 180 days. But if we can help you, feel free to give us a ring. Our number will be on the bottom of these slides, and we'll be able to help you through that process. So here's what you need to get approved with Quill: entity in good standing, EIN number, business address matching everywhere, DUNS number, business license, business bank account. Again, if your fundability is jacked up, they're going to actually make you come in and do some prepaid orders first. It's why you want to address your fundability. Grainger, they sell power tools, pumps, and more, outdoor supplies. I buy batteries and first aid kits from Grainger. We all need batteries and first aid kits. That's what I buy there initially when I'm building business credit profile for a company. I'll buy that kind of stuff. And I love Grainger because they're one of the easiest companies to get approved for. They also do fleet maintenance. They report to DMB. In addition to their standard qualifications, if a business doesn't have established business credit, they may want to see additional income statements like income statements, balance sheets, etc. Look, here's what I found. Little secret with Grainger. Have a business license. You know, a lot of counties can give you an occupational license or a business license. Any business license, if you go into Grainger with the business license, almost always they'll approve you for a $2,500 credit line, almost automatically. If you have a business license, it's a way to shortcut their process. Entity in good standing to get approved with them, EIN, business address, DUNS number, business license, business bank account. You can get online with them at Grainger.com. Now, Kevin says, if I change business address and I already have 4 trade lines, is that like starting all over again? It's not, but make sure you change your address with all 4 of those sources and the reporting agencies. It's very important. Just got BP. Do they report? BP does report. I don't have it memorized off the top of my head of who they report to. Well, here we go. They report to DMB, Equifax, and Experian. Guys, you get it? Look, I'm not trying to sell you on working with this, but this is how easy it is to work with us to build your business credit. He's like, who do they report to? I'm like, boom, in our system, I can tell you everything you need to know about getting approved for that BP account because it's all listed right here. So here's all 3 reporting agencies that they actually report to. Okay, so let's dive into SupplyWorks, which is my 4th. And before I do, let me jump in. Kate asks from Facebook, you should add this vendor to your list of vendors. They report either 3,000 or 6,000 credit line. I like it because they report usage and payment every month. And I'll take a look at that. Membership is available in all 3 states. I will take a look at that. We have an entire data team, and all that team does is just vet sources, and we vet those sources before we put them out to anybody. But I took a screenshot. I appreciate that very much for letting me know. Okay, I will look into that. SupplyWorks is a part of Home Depot. That now they offer integrated facility management solutions. Virtual addresses are not accepted with them, so something to keep in mind. They do report to Experian. Okay, you need the following to qualify: entity in good standing, EIN, business address, DUNS number, business license, business bank account, supplyworks.com. You notice a trend? Okay, I'm giving you real starter vendors. And by I mean real, I mean all you need is a business set up, an entity. You need an EIN. The business should have an address, a business address. You need a DUNS number to get a lot of these credit sources anyways, and a business license and a bank reference. With just the bare minimum, you can get approved for these. I've got all kinds of vendors I can show you, and some require accounts reporting before you get approved. Some of them will require 3, 4, 5 accounts. Some you need a personal guarantee. These are all starter vendors, which means anybody can get them with just basic requirements that I'm showing you here. Gene says, I called my Secretary of State to ask them to update my NAICS, but they told me they don't do that. Where and how can I make changes easily? Well, what you want to do with NAICS code is you want to update it with the business credit reporting agencies, and you also want to update it with the IRS as well. And check your Secretary of State record. If your Secretary of State record has an SIC or NAICS code, which some states do, then in that case, you know that they're reporting it. But if you pull your record from the Secretary of State and it's not, then the just might be in a state where that's not reported. But make sure it's reported with the IRS and the actual business credit reporting agencies. As I preach all the time, you should select your own NAICS code. If you don't, then when you start applying for credit, they're going to find the best industry you're associated with, and they're going to automatically assign you that code. Then what happens is you pull business credit reports and you have like 5 different kind of NAICS codes on it. And here, I'll show you exactly what I mean. So when you look at NAICS codes, ICS codes, you need to choose what your own NAICS code is. So if I go to NAICS.com, which I love this, I think it's a pretty easy way to search. Let me give you an example. If you come in and say that you're in finance and insurance, look at how many different subcategories there are in finance and insurance. So when you apply for credit or financing and you say you're in the insurance industry or you're in the finance industry, do you see the problem with that? These are all subcategories of the finance and insurance industry. This is why you need to know your own NAICS code. Because if you don't, and you apply for a credit card and say, I'm in the insurance industry, then you apply for another credit card and say, I'm in the insurance industry, they could pick completely different NAICS codes to actually assign to you. Now you've got a bunch of NAICS codes on your credit report. So as we just talked about here, and let me see who that was that asked that question. As Jean-Pierre says, it makes a lot of sense for you to pick your own NAICS code, know where you are, and then whenever you apply for credit and financing, include the freaking code. That's what I do. Like when I apply, I say, look, here's exactly what we are. By definition, here's our NAICS code. And then I give them the NAICS number. So that way they can't screw it up. I tell them, here's my industry as exactly explained in NAICS. So let me give you an example. If I'm doing this, I'm going to say, hey, my NAICS code, I am a securities brokerage, and my NAICS is 523120. Nobody freaking does that. I don't know anybody that does that besides me. But when I apply and they say, what industry are you in? I'm like, I'm securities brokerage, 523120 is my NAICS. That way they can't screw it up. So as Jean-Pierre said, that's something you need to know, and make sure the IRS documents you have, and make sure the Secretary of State, if they report it, all show your NAICS code, as well as make sure that information is updated with the reporting agencies as well. So SupplyWorks, that's how we get approved. Strategic Network Solutions. Now, they offer technology training and tech support. They report to Experian and CreditSafe. CreditSafe is an up-and-coming reporting agency in the United States. We report to them too to start help our clients start to get reported with CreditSafe. A credit limit will start at $1,000 for every new business that applies, and it will increase by $500 if balances are paid in full and on time. So a lot of money that you're able to build up to with credit lines with them. You need an entity in good standing, EIN, business address, DUNS number, business license, business bank account. You can get approved to STNTSOL. I think all of the ones I showed you today have the same approval requirements because I wanted to give you real starter vendors that anybody could actually get approved for. Now, Armani says, is there a non-business license category that can be used to build business credit with? No. You need to have an NAICS code, which puts you in a very specified category. And I just showed you how to actually figure out what that category is. Who does Speedway report to? I'd have to actually look in my Speedway. Well, right here we go. Speedway reports to D&B, Equifax, and Experian. Okay. Again, I don't mean to self-sell, but guys, that's one of the benefits of working with us. That information is readily available to all of our clients. Okay. How do we pull business credit reports? You can go to any of the reporting agencies. Equifax is locked down with credit reports. You can't get them from them right now, but you can go to creditsuite.com/monitoring. And creditsuite.com/monitoring, we offer the cheapest credit monitoring you're going to find anywhere through our nav integration. It's $24. And we're about ready to raise the price because we just added Equifax. For $24, you get D&B, Equifax, and Experian. And if you're giving us a call for a consultation, which our number's right here, we help you get your credit reports for free. So if you want a free copy of your Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian, just give us a ring, and on our consultation call, we will get that for you for free. Felicia says, I just got approved for PPP. Will that count towards the credit profile? It does not report. Kay also reports to Equifax and CreditSafe. That's awesome, Kay. I'm going to look into that source. And Curtis says, the type of, for people in the lending industry, would you suggest that we set up our business as security brokerages? No, I absolutely wouldn't. I think that depending on what your business really does, you need to come down and find the right NAICS code that really fits what your business does based on the NAICS code and what you're really doing. You haven't given me enough information to even know, and I don't have all these memorized. So you want to drill down and find your right NAICS code by looking at the list. And again, you can get this at NAICS.com. That NAICS is the new indicator code that the IRS and the government uses. Look at this list and find the best descriptor of your business, memorize it, write it down, and make sure that you are using that on all of your applications. That is exactly how you should figure out the best NAICS code. So more benefits of these. Well, you must have 3 or more accounts reporting. You need 5 payment experiences really to move on to retail credit. The more, the better. The more, the better. Because remember, when you're getting starter vendors, some of them report quarterly, some of them report monthly. So in order for this to succeed, you want to get ones that report monthly so you can make the process go faster, okay? Also keep in mind, I'm not trying to self-sell. I want people to understand there's a difference between doing this on your own and working with an expert in the space. Our clients are using vendors that do SEO, that do marketing, that set up websites, that sell t-shirts, that set up phone lines. Those are all the types of vendors that are available, but they're not readily known. And I don't talk about them. I lock down a lot of that information just for our clients because they pay for that information. It's only fair, right? I give a lot of people for free the information that can help you. And then I lock down a bunch of information for free for our clients. So there's a lot of vendors you can use that do a lot of different things, but you need to have 5 payment experiences before you move on to the retail credit tier. As I mentioned, it's going to take 30 to 90 days for the accounts to report. Some report monthly, some report quarterly. If you're using a system like we have, you know that. If you're not, you have to call and don't talk to the front end person. You have to go through a process to get to an underwriter to really know if they report quarterly, monthly, and who they report to. 60 days on average. But again, if you're getting ones that report monthly, they're going to report monthly. And do not apply for retail credit until you have at least 5 payment experiences first. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you do apply too early, you may get approved. But they're going to approve you for net terms, not revolving. So if you want to get a WEX fleet card and you want a revolving card where you could put a high balance and pay a minimum payment versus a net 30 that has to have the whole balance paid off in 30 days, you've got to have 5 payment experiences. If you don't have enough payment experiences, the retail credit issuers may give you credit, but they'll issue it on net terms, not revolving. So if you want revolving terms, that's when those 5 payment experiences become so important. Now, you need starter vendor accounts to build the business credit profile and score. We talked about the number of payment experiences before you actually get to retail credit. Okay, now let's talk about how you get this without a personal guarantee and credit check. When it comes to the vendors I've shown you today, they're not going to ask you for your social security number. They're not going to even ask for it, okay? No big deal. You don't need to supply it. You're not providing a guarantee. You're not providing a credit check for these vendors. But when you move to retail credit, you are going to need to provide a social security number to verify your identity if the credit that you're getting is issued by a major bank. Let me give you an example. Office Depot and Staples are underwritten by Citi. Citi is a bank. The government, effective in 2018, requires Citi as a bank to verify the identity for anybody that is opening a new account. So they have to get your social security number to verify who you are so they know, and this is to avoid money laundering, but you need to be careful that you're not authorizing a personal credit check or guarantee. If you authorize a guarantee or a credit, if you tell them you're not authorizing a personal guarantee or a credit check, then they're not going to pull your personal credit and will approve you without the guarantee. If you don't stipulate this, you may be indirectly giving them a guarantee and credit check and not know it. That's why I suggested in our finance suite, we tell people how to apply for every account. In many cases, we recommend a fax and provide a fax number or calling in to get approved so you don't have to enter your social and automatically by default enter that personal guarantee and credit check. So it's just some things to keep in mind. There are no federal laws that require you to enter a social security number on an application if they ask for it, but never misrepresent your social security number. Never use a CPN number. They're bogus. They're crap. You don't want to use them. Never use 11111 or 00000. You can't misrepresent your social security number. I'm not an attorney. This is not legal advice, but you are violating 2 federal laws if you misrepresent your social security number. So never enter anything other than a social security number in a social security field. If they make you enter it and you can't stipulate and clarify that you're not providing a guarantee and credit check, call them or fax the application and don't apply online. Sometimes that's needed, but necessary if you want to get around the guarantee and the credit check. So let's recap here. SBA PPP loans, they're great, but you can't rely on them moving forward. Business credit's a great solution that can work for you. You can get approved without collateral requirements, without credit requirements, without cash flow requirements. You can apply and get approved for your EIN with no other lendable strength. But you've got to start building business credit with starter vendors. And you've got to find credit that reports to D&B, Equifax, and or Experian. I've went through 5 of the best ones that are still issuing a lot of credit, even in a recession, to try to make it easy for you. And by the way, if we can help you with anything to do with financing, let us know. We never charge you any kind of fee to help you with loans, credit lines, etc. We do have an investment for our business credit builder, but look, I'll be straight with you. It's cheaper to build business credit with us than go and do it on your own. We have a 90% discount on your business credit or on your business credit monitoring. You don't have to get stuck paying for a DUNS number or activating your credit profile with DMB. That's part of our process. We list you with 411 for free. We give you business valuations for free. If you look at all the stuff you get as part of our system that you have to pay for when you build business credit, you'd see it's cheaper to work with us than try to do this on your own. And we take a 2.5 to 3 year process and condense it to only 6 months. And the best part is that we make it really easy to be able to talk to us about it more. Give us a ring and you get a free consultation. On your consultation, we will do a free check to see if Equifax and Experian has given you a failing score and you don't even know. We see if you're actually set up with the reporting agencies and don't know you are. We do a fundability check to see if your fundability is screwed up, like there's discrepancies between your application and your Secretary of State. We even have something brand new we just rolled out. I'm going to show it up. I'm not even going to show it today because I don't know where it's saved. But we actually now tie into LexisNexis data, the same place that the credit issuers and the lenders are pulling data from. And we can even pull a report to show you discrepancies in your fundability. We do all that in our consultation. We can do that for you as well. We help you get free copies of your Dun & Bradstreet Equifax Experian credit report. And we tell you all the funding. We qualify you for funding to tell you all the funding you can get right now as well. All that happens on a free consultation with us. So feel free to give us a ring at 877-600-2487. If you got a lot of value, do me a favor. Give me a like, give me a love, give me a thumbs up, give me like a share. You know, that tells everybody else that this content's valuable, and it means a lot to me that you do that. And follow us on our social channels, Instagram and Twitter, daily tips, podcasts you can listen to on the go with all kinds of industry experts that help you grow a successful business. I just had a guy on today, brilliant, Carl Allen, that teaches you how to, instead of starting a business, how to just acquire a business and how to do it with no money out of pocket. So that's the kind of stuff that we cover on our podcast. And then, of course, we go live on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1, Wednesday at 11 o'clock, all Eastern times. So make sure you follow us on our social channels. So I've got some other questions here I want to make sure that I get into. Wow, thanks. Where does SBA loan report to? Depends on the lender. SBA doesn't report anywhere. You get a loan through a bank and the bank reports, and you've got to ask that bank individually where they report or if they report. Okay, Quill is not granting new credit during this pandemic. We are still finding that Quill is actually issuing credit. But again, as I outlined here in this webinar, their requirements have changed. So it's a little bit more strenuous to get approved with Quill, but we are getting our clients approved with Quill. But if you follow me, you'll see that the requirements I showed you for Quill have changed. Okay, for example, they now prefer that you have a PAYDEX number before you get approved with them. So this is the reason, not to self-promote, but this is the reason that our clients build business credit so quick. I already know that. We already updated our system before anybody else really had that information because we have relationships with our underwriters. Quill is issuing credit. There's just changed their requirements. For example, they prefer that you have a PAYDEX score to get approved with them initially. Okay. Thank you for all you gave so far. Hopefully that helps you. Did you say that you help us get loans? Yes, we help you with all kinds of loans. We work with every legitimate form of capital that's out there, and we pull them all together. And if by talking to our team, we could pre-qualify you, tell you all the funding you can get, and we'll even help get you with the right funding source that will fund you. And it costs you $0. Zero. We charge you no money to help you with funding at all. We help you get with the right broker. We help you get with the right lender. That whole process is free. All you have to do is give us a call and we can help you get approved. Tashina says, great information. You inspired me to start my business. Great. Congratulations. And keep in mind, there are some great ways out there to even acquire businesses with no money down instead of start them. Roland Frazier with Epic Challenge. His name is Roland Frazier, Epic Challenge. Worth looking into. Him and Carl Allen is another that teach a lot of people how to build businesses and do it, or how to buy businesses with no money out of pocket. So something to keep in mind. Kevin says, can anyone say 5 vendors just coming in? You can go back and play this at any time, but we talked about Grainger today. We talked about Uline. We talked about Quill. We talked about strategic network solutions as well. Great information. Thank you very much. Okay, great. I'm glad everybody got great value. Okay, for tuning in. If you have any other questions, please reach out to us and let us know. 877-600-2487. If you missed this and came in late, it's available on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. You can go back and play it back in its entirety. We had some tech issues in the beginning, but we managed to stick in there and get it done. And don't forget, on our consultation, we'll help you get your business credit reports for free. We'll do a fundability check. We'll do a financing assessment to see how much money you can get. And we'll do a free check of the reporting agencies to see if you're set up now. It's all for free. So if we can help you building your business credit, give us a ring, 877-600-2487. And Barbara says, is the opportunity for representatives, independent contractors to partner with Credit Suite still available? It is. We have a partner program where you can offer business credit and financing as a service. And we have many partners that now make $1 million a year in revenue in their business just offering business credit financing. And by the way, all these PowerPoints, all this training, it's all available for our partners that offer business credit financing. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a secret. Our partners get these PowerPoints before I get them. They get them like a week before I even get them. So all the resources we use to educate and train all go to our partners to help you run your own business offering business credit financing. If you have an interest in that, feel free to give us a ring, 877-600-2487. I'm going to wrap up. I will see you all tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about a lot of other cool ways you can get funding for your business. That all takes place Thursday, tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern. I'll see you there. Like I said, help me out. If you got value here, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. It means a lot to me, and we will continue to deliver very valuable information to you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Give us a call for your free consultation, 877-600-2487, and take 3 years of building business credit and condense it down into only 6 months. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.